Hello. Very good afternoon to all of you. Before we start, let me just clarify. Can you all hear me clearly? If you all hear me clearly, please comment in the comment column that the sound is loud and clear, so I'll be able to continue. With that, welcome to all. I hope my sound is clear. I'm just waiting for response. Okay, fabulous. It's very clear. So I'm getting responses already. So very good afternoon to all of you. I took a very short break, I think about 2 to 3 weeks, and coming back with a blazing number. We already have 164 viewers. That is very abnormal, which is a very good thing. So thank you to all of you for always watching my live classes. Although I was on 2 to 3 weeks break, I can see the viewership for every classes was still going on. There was so much energy in learning and so much of interest in learning. Okay, very good. Heads off to all of you. For those of you who don't know where to find the live classes, the recorded live classes, that means 86, 87 classes previously that I've done. It's okay. I'll be showing it to you today. Okay, so with that, welcome to everyone. So we are at the September season now. Okay, so I've made it like a series now, like a season kind of series now. I don't know, how to make it more interesting. So, but anyway, I think it's interesting enough. So this time we're going to cover episodes 87 to 94. So some of you might ask, how did I came up with all these topics? Okay, actually, I did a poll in my Facebook group, Effective Academic Writing, as well as my Telegram group. So most of them were asking for problem statement. They really want to know how to write problem statement. But then I thought, what is the point of teaching problem statement without teaching the essence of the entire chapter one? That means your introduction, your background, and without all those things, it's like unclear path. Okay, if you don't have a proper introduction and background sections, then the flow into your problem statement would not be clear. Okay, that's the essence of it. All right, so therefore this week I'm going to cover the essential parts of introduction writing, background writing, okay, and followed by 23rd of September. You might ask me, why such a big break? 6, 8, and then 23rd. Okay, I have many invited talks. Okay, I have many free talks, CSR, part of our CSR program. We do it every quarterly with many universities. Okay, so tomorrow I have it with UM. Then this next week I'm having, this week I think I'm having another university. Next week I'm having UITM, many UITMs, a number of them, followed by UKM, UPM. It's all lined up. If any of you are coming from a different university or different faculty, you would like to invite me to give a talk on high impact paper publishing, do get in touch. It's a 2 hours talk, fabulous lineup. I mean, the agenda. It's a different kind of approach I've taken this time with very different kind of information. Okay, so if you're interested, whether you are from you can talk to the RMC of your universities, or you can talk to the postgraduate school of universities, or you are a postgraduate rep, you want to organize it for your whole group of people, you want them to learn how to publish, this would be a very good talk. All you need to do is organize it in your university, because there is no you don't need any fund for it. It's completely free, and I'm going to personally give the talk. Okay, so if at all you have interest, do get in touch. Okay, so today and day after tomorrow, you're going to cover introduction and background, which are both very essential before we get into problem statement. And if you see here, the next classes after that, 23rd of September, 29th of September, 7th October, 13th October, all going to be about problem statement, how to write problem statement development, and problem statement example from thesis. Okay, so this is going to be a fundamental, and then a bit of a development process and an actual example. Okay, so we're going to go step by step. All right, and then followed by 14th of October, we're going to look into searching and downloading literature. This is very important. No matter what you write, no matter how much you write, if you don't have proper literature, it's a complete waste. So I'm going to look into that on not only in emphasizing or writing a good problem statement, but how to get the necessary resources to construct a very good problem statement. So that is the objective on 14th of October. Followed by 20th of October is a very nice session where I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to basically connect problem statement to research objectives. So I'm going to basically show in my class how from problem statement you can actually design research objectives. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of it. All right, so how to register for all these upcoming classes? Very simple. All you need to do is go to my go to our proofreading page, proofreading by UK PhD. Okay, so all you need to do is just go to search button here and type proofreading by a UK PhD. All right, so go quickly now, do it. Okay, because I'm going to give you a bit of time. So go to Facebook now, type proofreading by UK PhD. Okay, and then scroll down to events. Okay, scroll down to events. All right, so here you can see all the upcoming classes. Okay, so you can go and register for all these classes. Nothing, you just go and click interested, that's it. Or I'm attending, or whatever button the Facebook is giving you. So you just click, make sure you click attend, so that when I go live, if no one tags you, if you suddenly become busy, you don't know that I'm going live, at least you'll be notified on Facebook. Okay, and most importantly, when you go to my proofreading page, you can see a follow button here. Click that follow button and there'll be a drop down. You can select favorites. The moment you select favorites, that means when I go live or if you post any tutorials, you will be notified immediately. Okay, so click this button, click and select favorites. Okay, all right, as simple as that. Okay, fantastic. So let's get back to the class today. So make sure you guys go and do that. Don't forget to do that. It's very, very important. And today we're going to look at episode 87. Okay, episode 87. That means you have 86 previous classes there for you to go and learn everything completely free of charge. It's just you have to spare your time, go there, sit down, focus, and learn. Okay, all right. And today we're going to cover 17 different parts. So you don't leave the class. Okay, try not to leave the class unless you have completed all 17 parts. Okay, all 17 parts. Okay, so before we start, as usual, okay, you know how Facebook works. I'm not going to lock you down in a Zoom session where it's only limited to 100 and the rest cannot get to attend. I'm opening up publicly, okay, so that everyone can attend, but I need your help because Facebook is only becoming worse in terms of making money. They really want us to pay for the ads, but with your help, we don't need to do that. All you need to do is very, very simple. Only two things, okay? Step one, hit the share button. The share button now will look like an arrow like that. And also here, if you're watching from desktop, hit the share button, share it across Effective Academic Writing, DSG, SLR group, your own university groups, postgraduate support group, and so on and so forth. So please keep sharing. So you will eventually help another research student. Okay, isn't that what we are doing now? No, we are trying to help each other in a very harmonized research community. All right, so please hit that share button and share it. Please help out your colleagues, your peers, whoever is looking for help, and they'll get it for free here. All right. And most importantly, the comment column down there, there, that is a very, very important part there. That part there, please go and type add. Okay, you can see add there and type out your friend's name. Tag at least 5 of your friends. For today's fabulous class, please tag at least 5 of your friends. Okay, that's very important to help them out, and they will be able. Some of them might not even know I'm doing live classes, even doing after more than a year now, because Facebook really clamps down on the reach. Okay, especially in 2021, they have really driven down their organic reach. Okay, so with your help, please start tagging your friends, at least 5 of them, and start sharing the session effectively and actively. Okay, all right, so let's go to the next part. Okay, as usual in my classes, I always share papers from my clients. Why? Fundamentally because I want them to get citation. This is something that I always provide them as a value added service. And most importantly, these are new papers. By the time you get there, you might not be aware. So I'm giving you some very good sample papers for you to go and read if it is relevant to your field. Okay, so this is a very good scoping review paper. Okay, ISI Q1 impact factor 3.24 plus 1, very good journal. If any of you aiming to write scoping review paper, this is a good paper for you to go and look at. It's a good example for you to read and understand, and you might be able to identify what is the difference between a systematic literature review paper and a scoping review paper. If you are at the beginning of your research, you're doing a research proposal and so on, scoping review paper is very good thing for you to explore, which can get you to ISI Q1 level or even ISI Q2, Q3, or who cares? ISI, simple, because most of you might have graduation requirements to have ISI papers or Scopus papers. Before even you start your PhD, if you know how to write these papers, you already secure your graduation already. Okay, so do your publication way in advance. Don't wait until the last minute. Once you complete the whole thesis, then only you write, because from then You have to wait another 6 months to 1 year. That is if no journals reject your paper. Then you have about 6 months to 1 year. If they reject, they're going to have very long time. Okay, I've known people who after finishing their viva still waiting, cannot complete because of their publication requirement. So take extra care. If your university entails a publication requirement for you to graduate, do this in advance. Scoping review is something that you can do way in advance. Okay, this is another good paper on street food. Very interesting paper that you can go and read if you know if you have the interest. Scopus Q3 as well. So all this went through a very fabulous amount of language services. Okay, and lastly, this is a very recent paper, very also a review paper, and this is interestingly a narrative review paper. Okay, by Dr. Anusha and a team from USM. Brain image segmentation in recent years, a narrative review. Everyone says, is it really possible to get into a narrative review with ISI to ISI level? Yes, here you go. Example, ISI Q1 impact factor 3.24. Went through some consultancy process and paraphrasing, proofreading, editing, and structuring processes as well. Okay, this paper was written by the student very well. I mean, very good paper, but very poorly written. So required some very important segmentized paraphrasing. Okay, it was quite a tedious job there. So we have a question from Alicia. What is JCR, doctor? Journal citation ranking. Journal citation ranking is like impact factor, but for Scopus. Okay, Scopus uses JCR, but I don't think ISI. As far as I know, ISI doesn't use JCR. Okay, all right. So these are all branding and different way of marketing their services, their products. Okay, all right. So that's good. Okay, so Q&A to all of you, and I need each and every of you to answer this so that I know the crowd today. So how many of you are just starting PhD, writing PhD proposal, or writing PhD thesis? So type out in the comment column so that I will know the general audience today, and I can fine tune the session today according to that. Okay, as much as I can. All right. So come on, let's all of you answer in the comment column. Are you guys starting PhD, writing PhD proposal, or writing PhD thesis? Okay, while at it, we have many new joiners here. We have Baba. Hi, Baba. We have Uma Mageswari. Hi, how are you? We have Navarani. Hi, Sasi. Um, all watching from group, Effective Academic Writing. And then we have, pages. Too many people. Okay, so welcome to all of you. Don't forget, tag at least 5 of your friends. Okay, as a token of sharing, please make sure you hit the share button. 5 of your friends. Don't stop tagging. Okay, let's look at the crowd today. All right, so we are looking at wow. Okay, number 2, number 1, number 2. I'm in degree. That's fine, City. Already preparing well in advance. Fantastic. 3, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, and 2. Okay, fantastic. 3, 2, 1, 2. Just past, I think DP is the proposal defense, right? Okay, and doing correction. Fantastic. 1, 1 and 2. So a lot of 1 and 2. Very little 3. So got 1, 3. Okay, so mostly I would say 80% 1 and 2. Okay, I think about 20 to 30% 2 and 3. Sorry, 3. Okay, about 30%. Okay, so we have Mirza plan to pursue work on do the research proposal. Okay, let me just still in 1 and 2. Okay, that's fine. I mean masters, that's good, no problem. The okay, masters, the theory are the same. The theories are the same. That means is the research process is the same, just that how deep you go into it. So you can be on the same spectrum. That's fine. Okay, all right. Lisa, we'll start next month. Fantastic. Wish you all the best. Master's proposal, master's good. Patiban, hi, how are you? Okay, we got number 2, Intan. Mirza Mustafa plan to pursue proposal first. That's good. Okay, start with 10 pages proposal first. Always. If you're at the beginning, please start with 10 pages proposal first to convince the supervisor on the track that you have taken. What are you looking into? Don't straight away jump into chapters 1 to 3. Okay, all right. All right. Thank you very much, Razik. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I hope the documents are all okay, Tuan Razik. So then Azrina doing my MPhil final stage. Okay. Okay. So it's majority of our audiences today are in stage 1 and 2. Some of them are in stage 3. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Now let's go to the next part. Okay, before I even start into this, okay, this structure is applicable for thesis as well. Just that when you go to thesis stage, whatever you write is going to be expanded. Okay, that means your chapter 1 to 3 will be equally and based on requirement will be expanded and will further add more information. Okay, according to your result and discussion. But the structure is more or less the same. Okay, so if you look at abstract per se, okay, let's look at abstract now. We have the overview of your thesis. Okay, abstract. Okay, abstract is nothing but the overview of your thesis, and generally very short. Okay, where during my CSR talk on graduating before time, for the past 3 months, I've done across Malaysia and also Indonesia. I've told them proposal is about a page. Okay, usually thesis your abstract will be about 1.5 pages, roughly. Okay, roughly. It is recommended to write it at last. Okay, when everything else is done, because you know why, abstract is your executive summary. If some of you don't understand what is abstract, it's basically executive summary. Your abstract cannot be equals to your conclusion. They are not the same. Okay, conclusion is the climax, to finishing, I close it. Abstract will give you the introduction, the background, the problem statement, the what you call the solutions, and then your achievement, everything. So when they read your abstract, it should be like watching a film trailer. They should understand everything you're trying to do. Okay, keep that in mind always. All right. So if Irma replied, currently in correction phase, Dr. Thanos, for my first journal article. I'm looking forward for your life, doctor. Sure. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. Okay. So introduction is what we're going to look into today. The introduction chapter is there to give an overview of your thesis, basics or main points it should answer. Why is the topic being studied? How is the topic being studied? What is being studied? Okay. It should cover this in a very subtle manner. Okay. In a very subtle manner. In answering the first question, why, you should know what your personal interest in this topic is and if and why it is relevant in general. So later when I go through a sample, I'll explain to you further. In answering the how, okay, you should briefly explain how you're going to reach your research goal. Some prefer to answer that question in methods chapter, but you can give a quick overview here. It depends on you. You can give a quick overview or you can just leave it for your method chapter, all right? And finally, you should explain what you are studying. This is very crucial because then people won't understand why you're doing your problem statement in the first place. Okay. So Zalifa, how to develop a good topic? Well, it depends on your interest, Zalifa. A good topic is anything that you think it's good, with good research problem to tackle, not to Einstein level. So don't shoot yourself with Einstein level research. Just do enough to get PhD. Whatever you want to do, you can do after that. You want to publish extravaganza papers and so on, you can do after that. Just don't do so little that is equivalent to masters, and don't do too much that is equivalent to Einstein level research. How to identify that? Read a lot of theses. Refer to a lot of theses. Check what they have done, and you can from that cross check and benchmark where you are at. Okay, all right. So you have to answer for introduction, coming back to this, why, how, and what. Okay. In the what segment, you could put your research question in this part. Okay. You can put and not put, but it'll be there. I'll show you an example later. All right. And then comes literature review. I think all of you know what is literature review. You have to use a wide array of sources, show both sides of the coin, make sure to cover the classics in your field, present everything in a clear and structured manner. Okay. All right. That is literature review. Shamshina, how long is the recommended introduction? Introduction can be anything from, some people just do it like half a page. I've seen 1.5 page. Today I'm going to share more or less 1.5 page to you. Okay, all right, depending on your topic. Razana, how to do a right, sorry, let me just share this. How to do a right flow of writing, doctor? Any sharing before for me to refer? Right flow of writing, you can go to my previous class on thesis structure. Okay, thesis structure, which I'll share with you later shortly, where to go and access all my previous classes. All right. Next thing, once you finish chapter 2, you go to methods. In methods, you are covering the methodology chapter, outlines which methods you choose to gather data. You have to inform that. How the data is analyzed, okay, what you have choose, how you have choose to tackle the problem, and then how the data will be analyzed. You must share that with your audience, okay, and justifies why you choose that methodology. Okay, like you cannot tell in your proposal defense or to your supervisor, no, in proposal defense that I did quantitative because my supervisor likes it. Okay, and you're gonna go to your supervisor and tell, well, since I only know quantitative, I want to do quantitative. Doesn't work that way. Everything comes down to the problem statement, how you want to solve it, and everything comes down to the existing literature review. Okay, you must choose and define and justify based on your literature. Okay, now let's say there's a study on SME already, and many of them didn't need quanti. You can take a quali approach. Okay, you can take a quali approach and say that many of them have done quanti, but they've never given a viewpoint of quali before. So I'm doing quali to open a different avenue, a different kind of perspective. That also can be a research. All right. It shows how your choice of design research methods is suited to answering your research question very well. Okay. Make sure to also explain what the pitfalls of your approach are and how you have tried to mitigate them. Okay. This one normally you can cite a lot of big people's paper. Okay. A lot of people that defines this is the sample size, this is how you calculate sample size, this is how you do outliers, and so on and so forth. Okay. Discussing yourself where the study might come short and can give you more credibility as it shows the reader that you are aware of the limitations of your study. You can also mention that, okay? But more on this in a different class, okay? Or I'll show you some of the playlists that you can go and watch. Okay, where do you find all the previous sessions? Okay, all the previous sessions, very simple. Again, go back to my Facebook page. Okay, you can go and check it out now. Okay, so all of you can go to your Facebook page now or your Facebook app now. Go to the search, type proofreading by UK PhD. Okay, don't forget to click follow. Okay, don't forget to click follow. Let me also, okay, I'll share the links later anyway. Okay, so here you have several tabs here. You can either go to live tab. Okay, live tab will bring you here our current class now. Okay, and as well as all the previous classes. You can see here everything is here. Okay, so or you can also go to my playlist. My playlist has a much more better structured view. So you can go to videos, click more, go to videos, and you can go to of course, this panda is not a class. Huh? Okay, the panda is not a class. All right, I just shared it. All right. Okay, playlist is here. Few free writing tutorials by Dr. Tawa. 88 classes. Okay, so you click see all, and then you'll be able to check out all the classes: quali versus quanti, literature review class, research question design, chasing thesis during pandemic, PhD thesis time management, proposal time management, step by step review paper writing, very hot, 3000 plus views, scoping review journal part 1, theoretical framework, conceptual framework. These are very hot class as well. Elements to graduate before time, and then 25 tips for best PhD thesis, conceptual framework design, and so on. So there are many different classes here that you can go and access and watch. Okay, so I'll be giving you all the links shortly now. So stay tuned, stay here in this forum. Okay, now please explain why. Okay, there's a question here. Please explain how and what in introduction and details. Okay, I'll try my level best for you. Okay, Stipe, what is the best, cheaper, and faster approach between quantitative and qualitative? Best, cheaper, and faster approach. I don't know how cheaper and faster becomes a phenomenon in research methodology, because timing is one thing, being cheap is another thing altogether. I cannot define those, but what you can define is whether you can access those sample or not. There's those population, you can access those or not. All right, that is the most important. But like even now is pandemic, maybe you want to go for research that is more viable in terms of what do you call that, accessibility. Okay, online interview and so on. Okay, I don't know from City. I don't know if this is advanced question, but if you're doing qualitative research, how do you collect the data? Qualitative got many different methods. City, you got interview, you got ethnography, you got observation, you got focus group study. There are many different methods. First, you must narrow down which particular sub method you want to choose. Okay, according to your study. All right. Okay. So more on that, you can also go back to my classes, which I've given a lot of classes on that as well. Okay. So coming back to my forums, okay, many of you might not be aware. Some of you might be in my Telegram group. Some of you might be in my effective academic writing group. Some of them might only follow my what do you call the Facebook page. My advice to you is please be in all the forums so that when I go live and I share, it will be everywhere so that you don't miss out. Because Facebook algorithm is very tricky. They won't show you. Okay, especially if my followers are increasing, they won't show you that frequently. Okay, the more followers means they expect us to spend more money on ads. Okay, so I am more of an organic guy, purely natural followers. Okay, all right. So this old number I forgot to update this. Now I think we are at 46,000 already, and this is at almost 40,000 already. So where do you go? How do you go and join my effective academic writing group, my proofreading by UK PhD page? Very simple. These are the links. Okay, I'm going to share with you guys now the links. Sorry that it popped there. So the links are, just give me a moment. Okay, so here are the links. I'm going to share in the comment column right now. Please check it out. If you guys are at effective academic writing, I'm also sharing it there. Okay, most important to all of you, okay, if you're not aware, this is my new Telegram group. Okay, previously you'll be aware that I had an old Telegram group called Learn with Dr. Tawa, but that group had some problem. Okay, I had to leave that group because I didn't know that I was not the owner of the group. So it was sort of got hijacked. But leave that aside. But this is my new group. I already achieved more than 3,000 plus members. My advice to you is please come and join this group. So when I go live or if I share any resources, tutorials, I'll be sharing it here. Okay, I'll be sharing it here. And then this is where I post daily tutorials in the evening. Okay, and all my free classes can be found in this link to complete playlist. All right, to complete playlist. All right. Yes, organic. We call that organic, Kairon, as much as we can. All right. Okay. So for to all 240 plus people watching now, don't forget, come and join my new Telegram group. Okay, enormous resources will be shared in this forum, okay, in this particular platform. If you guys are still part of my old group, I think it's called Research Corner now for some reason, I really don't know. Please leave that group. That is not my group anymore. Okay, this is the new group. Okay, Dr. Tawa's Academia. This is the new group. Once you click the link, you'll be able to join. Okay, all right. So your question from Daya, if this, sorry, this is out of topic, but I've been wondering if there is such thing as top 5 or top 10 journal search databases. If you have time, can you at least advise us about this after sharing session? Top 5, top 10 journal research databases. That means you're telling where to go and search the journals. If you ask me, Google Scholar is more than enough. Okay, Google Scholar is the best. All right, but you have to be able to filter out all the rubbish journals. That means all the non-peer reviewed scam journals. You must know your targeted journals. But the best place to search is always Google Scholar. If anyone tells you otherwise, that means they don't know about research very well, or they are afraid that you might download the wrong journal. But my whole PhD until now, since 2009 until now, I only use Google Scholar. Nothing is better than that. Okay, all right. So let's get back to the topic today. Okay, what is before introduction? As explained before, you have title, which will be your impact and which will garner more citation, whether your paper or your thesis is the same. Your title is instrumental, and your introduction will be anchored based on your title. Okay, will be anchored based on your title, and then abstract I've explained already. And then the introduction part is nothing but it's all about storytelling, which leads to your background, and your background leads to problem statement. This is where you got to build a storytelling section, which I'll explain in a while. Statistics, funnel, if required. Some people choose to put statistics as part of their background, which is fine. Funnel is very important on your story flow. Strong, convincing background that flows to problem statement. That means your introduction to your background, then background to problem statement. That is the flow usually. Okay. So now let's deep dive into it. Okay. Now we're gonna start. All right. This is from a sample thesis that I'm sharing with you. But before I start, I need all of you, whoever remaining just joined and already joined, never tag your friends, never tag your peer reviewers, your peer researchers, your supervisors. Very bad of you. Okay, now it's time for you to tag them before we go into this, we dive into this. Okay, for those who haven't shared the session, also very bad of you. Hit the share button, share it across different groups, share it across pages, your own profile, and so on. Do it now, and most importantly, don't forget to hit that love button. It's only one click there. Okay, all right. So now coming to building introduction, no title given to reflect good intro, because if I already given you the title, you would easily understand what the thesis is about. But I'm going to show you how the topic revolves, the introduction explains, even without us looking at the title, which is a very good thing. Okay, that means that's how clear and what do you call that? The clarity and the clearness must be there to reflect upon your title. Okay. So we have Shamshina here. Hi Shamshina, hope you are well. Doctor, if we have two DVs, do we need to describe the DVs one by one separately in the introduction? DV is your primary research scope. That is your research scope entirely. Yes, you need to. Better for you to explain. At least touch it. Okay. And then Idris, do we need to mention the variables introduction? Not really. You can mention in a very subtle manner. Okay, more of your DV here. More of IV comes in somewhere near your background if you want to, or your problem statement. See, there is no one rule for everything. It depends on how you write, how you structure everything. But usually, IV will come somewhere in problem statement. Okay, DV will start from the intro background. You can already see the reflection of your DV already. Okay, so now let's get into this. I'm not going to explain what topic is this. As we go, you will understand yourself. Okay, so this actual thesis, graduated PhD completed already. Okay, so let's start the introduction. Chapter 1. As stipulated in the 10th Malaysian Plan, the Malaysian government needs to have its own policies for water resources in order to secure the governance of water resources and to balance the existing and future water policies under the jurisdiction of various government and bodies and agencies. So you already know, first of all, it's about 10 Malaysian Plan, okay, which is the introduction. Then comes the water related stuff, water resources, and they are talking about government bodies and agencies. So you can know they're talking about agencies, bodies, water. Okay, it's almost there. All right. With that, the water legal provisions and institutional mandates can be standardized, which consequently results in an effective and efficient water resource management in Malaysia. So, you already told you, okay, what is important. Okay, I'm going to get to this red line very soon. Okay, but he already given you, the author already given you a clear idea. They're going to look into water resource management in Malaysia. Okay, so start with a very broad, let me stand Malaysia plan, going down to government bodies, water resources, and then give the entire idea. Okay, intro, and we can observe the research is about water resources. Okay, that much is clear, right? I hope that is clear. All right, next part. To date, there have been two proceedings on water resources within the Malaysian context. Namely, this is the proceedings, and one more is this. Okay, JICA and NRSM. Okay, and also Consortium of Consultants and the National Water Resource Study. These are all the consortium studies, research arena, whatever, all the seminar body, all of that. They are mentioning all of that to give a clear picture that they know everything. Okay, so this is further explaining the body involved in water related studies, a bit of literature review as well. Where comes in now? Firstly, the National Resource Study Malaysia serve to identify water demand and management as well as to protect water resources for the society. Okay, they're telling what do these people actually do. All right. Besides that, the study also offered recommendations to reform water sector. So basically, they're telling what the current body, what the current model is doing. Okay, they're just emphasizing and explaining. All right. The federal government and state governments are responsible to manage these limited water resources that are essential parts of economic and social development in Malaysia. Okay, from the bodies, they already come to government level now. At government level, where we are looking at. Okay, now we have all these bodies, but no one understands how this body interacts with the government. That then the author brings in the government. Okay, federal and state. Okay, meanwhile, the introduction of National Water Resources Study (NWRS) has introduced several changes to water sector in terms of water services, especially in Peninsular Malaysia. Okay, so now you already tie up all the bodies, then the government, and what NWRS. Okay, one of the body as well did so far. Okay, but you see, this is important statement. However, the management of water resources is not part of the study. Although NWRS had introduced several changes to water sector, but the management of water resources is not part of the study. So he has declared the first problem, sort of a problem. Okay, it has become a challenge because there is no clear structure on how to govern water resources in Malaysia because of this. Okay, so what past study focus and who are involved and what is the existing issue. Okay, so you're already given a very broad issue, very broad, very, very broad issue. Next, okay. Now, this is from a sample. Okay, all of you always ask me, how do I write? How do I write? I've already explained to you just by looking at another introduction. That is why reading thesis is very, very important. Okay, And there are many theses, hundreds of theses. We don't know which one to read. So always part of my talk, I will explain which thesis to go through. Okay. Okay. We have a first question here. Azrina, I am confused sometimes because unis have different methods of writing intro. In some unis, the intro is just introducing what is the content of chapter one, then it is followed by 1 point background study. Can you enlighten us on this, doctor? Actually, it's not university; it is supervisor. Okay, it is supervisor. Some supervisors only want introduction that much. They want background like 4 or 5 pages. Some people want introduction, fair amount of share, and then fair amount of share in background, so it's balanced. Okay, so up to your supervisor. That's why I always advise before you start writing, please refer to your supervisor. Ask them for sample. Like this is a very good sample from UNISA. If anyone is in UNISA, this is a good sample to look at, and generally very good. How we know? Because my team personally worked on this thesis. Is a quality thesis, relationship between language anxiety, oral performance, and written English performance among secondary school students. Okay, so this is a very good thesis which explains the narration in writing. So I already explained to you just now how the narration is coming down. That narration is very important. Okay, that is where all these changes takes place. Okay, you can see all this tracking. How is it done? That is what we do part of proofreading, editing, and structuring. Okay, so this is a very good content-based thesis coupled with very good writing structure will get very good feedback. That is the most essential and important part. No matter how you want to write, what you want to write, if you don't structure it properly, people won't be able to understand. For you to access this thesis, very simple. Go and try to refer to UNISA themselves. I won't be able to share because it's confidentiality agreement. I won't be able to share, but you can approach UNISA directly and try to get the sample. Okay. Next item, this is a very recent thesis, okay? Dr. Salahuddin, who only recently completed and graduated. Congratulations to you. Very good thesis indeed. But this thesis required paraphrasing. Okay, this thesis required paraphrasing. Very nice topic. Business strategy, innovation, and organizational performance of Malaysian food manufacturing SMEs. Dynamic capabilities as a moderator. Okay, all right. As you can see here, we have torn the thesis apart, okay, to assure that the flow is there. Okay, and again, what is narration is writing? That flow, that funnel, how you bring down the explanation. That is very important. Otherwise, people won't be able to follow. And this thesis also again went through, this is a quantity thesis from UUM. If you want to read, it's a good thesis. Try to talk to UUM Postgraduate Center. Okay, it's a very good content with very good language delivery. Also, minimal, I think close to almost no corrections at all, because the examiner said no language problem, no content problem, very small, minute changes only. He made the changes in a very short time and got it printed. Okay, these are good sample thesis. Always go and refer to sample thesis. All right. Okay, so now no problem. Thank you very much. No worries at all, Ayat. Then we have Salam Nurani. Do I need to write about brief methodology in chapter 1 or keep it in chapter 3 only? If it's too long, you can keep it in chapter 3. No worries. Okay, no worries. Okay, now coming to the second part of introduction. Okay, so here we are going to look at the remaining parts and we have one more page to go. So stay with me. We are at 10th now. So got 7 more slides to complete. At this point, okay, at this point, the authority of water resources in Malaysia is located under the state government. Okay, this is the current fact now. All right. While the process of making relevant policies is under the jurisdiction of the federal government. Why is he talking about this? Because you already told the existing body is not talking about water resource management. So he has to first emphasize before even going into or jumping as a suicidal thought into water resource management, he has to first establish why there is a conflict, why no one looking into this story yet. So he is establishing state government and federal government, no connection, but both also have jurisdiction on the water. Okay. According to the Federal Constitution of Malaysia, the state governments are responsible to manage issues that are connected to land, mines, forests, and water supply. This is federal. Besides that, there are also several government bodies and agencies that are involved in the management of water resources in Malaysia. In short, there is no single body in Malaysia that is fully authorized to plan or manage water resources. Wow. Okay. So there come there. That is the important point. In short, there is no single body that can fully authorize to manage water resource management. So basically, we're explaining who are the involved parties, what did the involved parties did, and no single body. We have explained that. Why? Because examiner will come ask you. You cannot say introduction. Okay, introduction. There is water problem in Malaysia. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to propose water resource management. The examiner will come and ask, really? You are government already? You know so much? What happened to Malaysian state government, federal government, local council? What happened to existing bodies and all that? Why you never mention about them? Why they are not in your background introduction or literature? Why? You don't want those questions. So you must be very comprehensive and you must build that funnel. This is applicable for water. This is also the same for your own study. Okay, for your own study, how do you want to build that funnel is very important. Okay, next thing, now we know, since now it is clear we are going to study about policy. So now we know there is no policy, everyone is doing their own thing, there is no tying up entirely. Okay, so let's get to that. We already know by now the study is related to policy. We have never seen the title yet. We don't know the title at all. Okay, but we already have the idea. This is going to be about policy. So Malaysia in the 21st century must make effort to control and manage water resources, given its significance as one of the most valuable natural elements. Okay, all these are just background cushioning. It's just cushioning more. Okay, how important is it? It is essential to critically consider the establishment and management of water conditions, especially through the coalition between federal government and state government. Why? Because only then you can harmonize, you can have a unified policy. Without that, you cannot make that happen. Okay, addressing that, National Water Resource Policy (NWRP), okay, was established based on the coalition of different government bodies and agencies. There you go. There's already a policy there, so he's coming to that policy now. So he's funneling down from different bodies to federal government to state government, and all of them combined become NWRP, and from there he will take further. You see the funnel, how he's building? That's how you build funnel. Okay. The arrangement setting of such coalition focuses on water related issue. The main objective, okay, this is important. The main objective of this coalition is to ensure that the development of water policy in terms of quality and quantity is secure in the long-term benefits of society. Okay. Now, but what happened? Why the thing never talk about water resource management? Let's get into it. NWRP serves as a main reference in ensuring the sustainability and accessibility of water resources for society. It also ensures that all the government bodies and agencies that govern water resources in Malaysia are effectively merged and integrated under the jurisdiction of each state government. Okay. However, in some cases, the influence of the federal government remains necessary. See, so now we know, although there is policy, but federal government is not playing a role there. They're not pulling them in. They have some role, but not entirely as a harmonized body. Okay. For instance, matters pertaining to water pollution and actions taken for cases of industrial discharge remain under jurisdiction of federal. Okay, and then blah 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 blah. Okay, all these are just telling, further cushioning the fact. So although NWRP policy is there, but what is the issue? Jeng jeng jeng. There is no unified policy. Okay, there is none. So if you ask me, do we need to have DV in the introduction? That was a common question. These are all part of establishing the DV. The policy itself is the DV. Okay, all right. I hope that is clear so far. Now going to the next part, the final part of introduction. Okay, so you can see here. So from this introduction, we can summarize the role of state and federal governments. Okay, accordingly, the establishment of NWRP is considered on the right track to secure and sustain water resources. This policy addresses water supply, water for industry and services, and the continuous demands that and needs of the society and its environment. This policy is part of the government's effort to conserve and manage safe water resources for Malaysians. Okay, so they're just explaining what does NWRP do. Why? Because it's a very important segment of study for this PhD. Okay, and next, further dive into guidelines provision based on policy. Why? It's not working. Why should I dive into? Because examiner will ask. Examiner will ask, since NWRP is there, what are the guidelines? Why they have not done it? So you must state all that so that they don't ask you these questions and they know you have comprehensively reviewed the literature. That is why it's very important. Okay. So if you see here, furthermore, the National Water Resources Council is also part of the influence and driving force of NWRP. The federal government and state government makes use of the role of NWRC, RP is different, as a channel that puts forward the effective strategies to address water-related issues in Malaysia. The Minister of Natural Resources and Environment captured the importance of water resources based on four main guidelines. So these are the guidelines proposed in the policy. Yet, it's not sufficient. End of introduction. Okay, so this is where the background jumps in. Background jumps in with more information on this, which I'll share in the next class. I'm not done yet, please wait, which I'll share in the next class. Okay, how does this story revolves down to the background and how from there it goes into problem statement. Okay, so K7 asked me, is there any available website? Okay, you can go to Ethos. Okay, Ethos is a very well-known website for thesis, and then try to select based on university. Okay, university, you can always go to the library and so on, you can ask for permission and you can try to access. Okay, but Ethos is good. All right. Yati Omar, tengok tak? Okay, Farihan asked you a question. All right. Okay, so background study is the next class. All right, now let's go to the next part. Fact. Okay, very important fact. Always remember, if introduction is not clear, then background won't be clear, and ultimately problem statement would be meaningless. A lot of people come to us during consultancy. Okay, they come and tell us, hey, you know what, my problem statement not okay, my problem statement not okay, my problem statement not okay. Problem statement not okay means you have to check back introduction and background. I'm pretty sure it's not well done, because if you have done that well, your problem statement will sort of fall in place eventually. Okay, eventually. So any of you having problem with problem statement, you have to go and check your introduction and your background. Don't forget that. Based on the funnel that I show how you build it today, very broad, and then gradually get down to your DV or your problem that you're looking into, you must build that funnel very carefully. Okay, very, very carefully. Call. Okay, so you can call. Okay. Lie. How to determine methodology? Methodology comes down to your research questions. How you're going to design based on problem statement, based on literature. Okay, so methodology has different factors. It is depending on literature review, the current problem, and exhaustiveness. What is exhaustiveness? That means how many people have used the same method to study the same topic. You need to check on that. If many have done, if many have done quanti, then maybe you can look into mix or quali to look at different perspective. Okay, so okay, she saw already. All right. What is the title of your this presentation? Which title you mean? This whole class is introduction. If the thesis, I'll give it to you towards the end of this whole session. Don't worry. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go to the next part. How do we commonly and usually support? Okay. When it comes to consultancy, people are stuck, move forward, introduction, problem, background, problem statement, problem statement itself, problem and problem. And then comes literature review, another big problem, another big headache, and then comes method, completely blow out. Okay. Now haven't even gone to chapter 4 and 5 yet. Okay. This is what we do and this is how we support. Okay. From mechanical engineering to publication consultancy to proposal, this is in social science, to proposal in Doctor of Public Health, and as well as group consultancies and workshop, we normally focus into publication content editing, thesis examiner response, PhD proposal consultancy, defense viva preparation. This is very, very hot at the moment. Thesis to journal conversion also always. This is a very significant what the consultancy that we provide. And once you settle all that, then comes data analysis and interpretation. We cover Smart PLS, AMOS, SPSS, EViews, MATLAB, and so on and so forth. Okay, and NVivo, not what they call the Atlas. All right. Wait, before that, we have here. This really helps me to see difference between introduction and background, because I thought they are the same. They are not the same. Okay. Arnis. Okay. I'm glad that it opened your eyes. And then next thing is Azima. What are the different content for introduction and background study? Attend my background study class. You'll have a better view. Okay, which will come on Wednesday. All right. Okay, so don't forget. And then next part, doctor, normally how long will it take to complete the introduction section? Since we need to read a lot. Oh, it depends on you, Camilla. Completely depends on you. One day also can, 1 year also can. I've seen people sitting on chapter 1 for 1 year, 2 years also got. Depends on you. Okay, and depends on what kind of resources you have, how much good classes you attend like this, how much of explanation you get, and so on. All right. Thesis title I'll be sharing in the next class. All right. Fahan, I'm writing my thesis using the article format. For each chapter, there will be their own introduction. Are there any useful advice to avoid repetitive points? Okay. I also did the same, Fahan. That's a very good approach, actually. More, very, very optimum. All right. So what I normally do is I take the important part, because as you write papers, you will start introducing a different segment of time. Okay, if your research is like this, okay, if your research is like this, you're at the beginning of introduction, but as you write your paper, you're progressing, your introduction will be a different point of time. So you must take what is important, maybe important here, smaller part, and combine them. That's what I did. Okay, so if you look at the logics of it, you'll be able to combine. Okay, and then what papers can be written from proposal? I'm going to share this every class. Okay, every class. Scoping, SLR, concept. Okay, this is based on narrative review. These are the papers that you can write from your PhD before even going for data collection. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. This is a very good sample from my very good friend, Dr. Harold, and his whole team. This is a very good SLR paper that you should refer at, which got into impact factor 7.963. We all know this guy very well. Okay, his SLR papers are pretty good. So good papers to read at, but don't take things very granted from the success itself. Okay, only I know how much the paper went through, how much work he did, how much work we did, okay, how much we had to transform the paper, and also most importantly, how many times he had to respond to reviewers' comments, and how many times we had to keep checking the language and language and language. Okay, so be prepared for many rounds of revision. That's what I'm telling you now itself. Start early, don't start late. Okay, let's hit more love button for this. Let's start early. Okay, don't forget, hit the love button. And what we usually see is only the success story, but there are huge amounts of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears behind every paper. Okay, that's why people come and say, I need a paper, can I get it accepted in 1 month? Scam journals can lah. People who journal agent, they're selling in a wrong way can. Okay, but the actual scenario cannot. It will take time. Okay, even if you go to MDPI, IEEE access, and so on, it will take time. Okay, usually when many see the success stories of our clients, they might think it's easy, but it is not. Okay, I'm telling this and an overall message to everyone, it is not. Okay, so we have another comment here. Camila, which one comes first, literature review matrix or introduction? Both can come at the same time. As you read literature review matrix, you have a better idea, you can start writing introduction. It can go hand in hand. All right. Farihan, doctor, what do you mean by Viva preparation in your support response? Meaning, anyway, I'm preparing now for Viva. That means, let's say, if you're preparing Viva, you need someone to look at your slides. You want some, more opinion, better expert opinion. You want someone to test you, give you hard time, squeeze you before you go into the actual room. We will do that. Okay, you don't need to worry. How to write the problem statement? Very simple. Next classes, we will be sharing it. 4 different classes on problem statement. Next one, Yuslina. Hi. Other than background, I have another section. Issues relating to study. Next is problem statement. Don't know how to differentiate those. Issues relating to study. Okay. That is probably a part of background, but you're breaking down into a different segment. Don't worry. It's just part of background as well. Okay. So don't worry, for those who don't forget, for those who are still writing proposal, writing thesis, don't forget to take up our 30% off. Still that, because we're still in MCO, the offer still stands. Okay. And don't forget, we are the only ISO 9001 certified academic consulting firm in Malaysia and one of the few in the world. Very hard for us to get this process, and that is why we have impeccable track record. Okay, one and only language warranty provider. We are HRDF registered and SFEP registered as well. This is a UK body for language. Okay, all right. So wait first, don't go yet. Okay, for those who haven't tagged your friends, please tag your friends. For those who haven't shared, this is the time for you to just 1 minute or 30 seconds hit the share button. Let others know about the class today. Tag your friends, because I'm going to give you these notes. Whoever have downloaded in the previous class, it's okay, you don't need to request. But if you are new today, you have never seen this paper before, okay, how to write a PhD proposal step-by-step guide. And also, I'm going to share my slides on time management for PhD thesis. I'm going to share this as well for you. So if you need all this, very simple, go to my website, proofreadingbyphd.com. Okay, scroll to bottom, fill up your details today, and I will send the paper. Okay, how do you get to my website? One moment. Okay, that's my website coming up. Okay, before that, we have Jaya Kumar. When doing chapter 1 to 3, which chapter sequence should we follow? Depends on you. I will start with chapter 1 for me to read the paper and then start the introduction, because that will give me a more pleasant overview of what I'm going to do, because it will give me the right motivation I need, the right story. Okay, but you can also write chapter 2, that's fine. right? Anis one, doctor, if I identify a paper which is related to the issue that I want to research, I refer it as anchor article. However, my supervisor commented it was not from ABS journal, hence it is not recommended. I would agree with him. I would agree with him because if it's not properly peer reviewed, it might be not strong enough. Continue searching. Okay. Thank you very much to again tagging your friend. For those who haven't done it, please do so. For the notes, go to my website proofreadingbyphd.com. Let me share in the link now. You can see in the comment column, and then whoever is in the group, I also share in the group. Okay, go to the website, all right, and scroll all the way down. Okay, for those who haven't have this, go scroll all the way down, and then you can find this form here. Okay, this form is not to get a code, don't worry, but fill up your details, your full name, contact number, email address, and then click consultancy services. Don't worry, no consultancy services unless you want it. Click C6 others and workshop. Then you fill up here. I need the paper. You see, I need the paper, and then click get a code. Okay, so please do this today, so I know that you want the paper, and I'll send it to you probably end of this week. Okay, probably end of this week or maybe end of next week. Okay, for those who came last term, I already sent the papers. If you have not received, you can go request again. Okay, so don't forget to do that. And then before you guys go today, I need another request. Please go and review the talk today. Please give a very good feedback. I'm sharing the link right now. There. Okay, please review the talk today. Don't go yet. um, okay, and then for those who have not joined, resource limit is reached. Okay, never mind. You guys can visit later. Probably the website is very busy now given all the followers I have. I will reset the website and then you guys can try later. Okay, please hold on. Try later, don't forget. I already given the link to write the review. And then don't forget this 8th September, you will have background writing for chapter 1. Make sure you go to my Facebook page, register for the event and come at 1:30 p.m. All right, don't forget, same location, Facebook Live. Okay, don't worry about the website. I know something is wrong. Okay, probably you can refresh later. It'll appear. Okay, I'll also refer to the server company. Okay, all right. And for those who have not joined my Telegram group, I'm sharing the link again. The first link is a Telegram group. Please make sure you join so that you'll be aware when I go live. Okay. So with that, thank you very much, guys. Angela Kaur. Okay. How to deal with lack of information issue in doing? That means you don't have enough papers. You have to search more widely. Okay. You have to search more widely so that you'll be able to get more related literature. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Wish you all the best. Don't forget for the next class. See you all. Okay. Thank you.